Friends, people think that Narayana is Vishnu, whereas that title rightfully belongs to the Lord God Yahweh, our Creator. It's because the word Narayana means the one who rested on the waters, and Yahweh was the one who rested upon the waters of creation. The Bible states that his pavilion was dark waters and thick clouds around him. And this Narayana, the Yahweh God, was the original god of the ancient Indians right after the Mahajalpralaya of Manu, which is the great flood of Noah, until the invasion of the African Kushites such as Rama and Krishna. Now, Vishnu and Narayana are two different entities. Even Hindu literatures admit it. Please take a look at this passage from the Hindu epic Padma Purana. Here you can see two separate characters, namely Narayana and Vishnu Narayana. However, someone intentionally placed the attributes of Yahweh upon Vishnu, who was a mere human, in order to wipe out the name of Yahweh from ancient India. Let's take a look at what really happened and whether Vishnu could have also worshipped Yahweh in the context of real history. The Mahajalpralaya of Manu, which is the great flood of Noah, occurred in the year 3298 BC. And when Noah the Manu died around 2950 BC, he never expected his descendants to worship him because he personally knew the God of Adam and Eve. And he knew that our Maker doesn't want us to worship anyone else but him. He is the one that said, I, the Lord, this is my name. I will not give my glory to another, nor my praise to graven things. Yet, people started worshipping Noah. In particular, people of Italy and Armenia made statues of Noah in the form of Janus, sometimes with 2 heads and sometimes with 4 heads, and worshipped him. We find these details in the book The Travels of Noah, written in the year 1601. The Indians worshipped the 4-headed form of Noah as Brahma. Meanwhile, Noah's son Shem was ruling ancient India under the title Bharat. The word Bharat means a holy fire that is maintained. Now the king Bharat and his people worshipped Yahweh God in the form of Narayana. And the king Bharat loved Yahweh, and he took joy in calling out his name, shouting Narayana wholeheartedly whenever he felt awed by the mighty miracles that Yahweh did for him when he advanced from the region of Arata to India. This is where the Hindi word Nara, meaning a shout of praise, comes from. Soon after that, the Kushites of Africa, like Rama and Krishna, invaded and took over ancient India. These things happened just after 2800 BC, when Shem, the king Bharat, had passed away. Now, the invading Kushites knew exactly that Narayana is Yahweh, and they wanted to wipe out the memory of Narayana from the Indian psyche, since their forefather Ham, the Kamdev, was a staunch enemy of Yahweh God. You can read it in the Bible. So, with the help of the priestly class of Brahmins, they started calling Noah Brahma, the creator god. Meanwhile, they conveniently tucked away his son Shem, the king Bharat of India, in the form of Narada, meaning the one who made Naras, which are praises, as we saw before. Today, Shem, the progenitor of the Semitic race, is nothing more than a clown in their mythologies. He still goes around greeting everyone he meets with the Narayana in Indian movies and TV shows. And the sad part is that Indians cannot even recognize that he is their beloved King Bharat who established India. Now, let's talk about the other two ancestral gods of Hinduism, namely Shiva and Vishnu. In fact, they never set foot in India. They both were in ancient Nineveh, which is the Mosul city of the modern day Iraq. Shiva was the king Nimrod mentioned in the Bible. The Bible states that he was a son of Kashyap, the biblical Cush, and he made sure that no one worshipped Yahweh in his kingdom. He is the one whom the water nymph goddess Inanna befriended and murdered and ruled in his stead as Queen Semiramis. She is worshipped in India as Kali these days. This is a complex subject. Please watch my video, Is King Nimrod the Lord Shiva of India, to see if what I say could be true. And since Vishnu was Shiva's rival, he was also living in Nineveh, which is ancient Assyria. Now, in those times, there were only two political factions on the face of the earth. One was Noah's that believed in Yahweh God, and the other one was Ham and his grandson Nimrod's, which was against Yahweh, who we call pagans today. Vishnu, being an opponent of Shiva, he was on Noah's side. Now, if you have been watching my videos, I'm sure you know the color coding of Hindu gods. All the purple gods are from Africa, and the fair-skinned ones are Noah, Shem, and their descendants. Whereas the green color is reserved for Kali because she was a water nymph. Now, take a look at the depictions of Vishnu with a lotus coming out of his navel, and focus on the fair-skinned man sitting inside lotus. He is Brahma, the four-headed Noah. So, what does this depiction mean? Is this lotus growing out of Vishnu's navel? No, it is the other way around. In fact, Vishnu is connected to his spiritual mentor Noah through his umbilical cord for his spiritual nourishment. That's what it means. Moreover, in Maharashtra state of India, they worship Vishnu in the form of Vittal, just in a human form. And it has nothing to do with any of the man-made avatars of Vishnu. Even though God doesn't like ancestral worship, the belief system one finds here is of love, forgiveness, brotherhood, peace, praise and prayers mixed with some pagan traditions. These to me are the reflections of what Vishnu was like in real life as a follower of Noah's God, Yahweh. Not only that, what if I tell you that Vishnu followers knew and were expecting the arrival of Jesus in human form as Naranarayana even until the 7th century AD? What you see here is a depiction of Narayana seated with Naranarayana from a Vishnu temple at Diogar in the state of Madhya Pradesh in India, built in the 7th century. We know that Narayana is Yahweh, and Naranarayana is Yahweh in human form, which is Jesus. But today, people make up nonsensical stories about this duo. Even in ancient India, people knew of a future savior that God himself would send to save humanity from Adam's sin. Now, Shem's sayings are found in Samaveda because Shem was also known as Saman. There it says that God would offer himself as a sacrifice and obtain atonement for sins. Isn't it what Abraham told Isaac when Isaac asked his father Abraham about the lamb for the sacrifice? And God was communicating all along about what he was going to do. Then, when did everything change? Indians today cannot even relate to Christianity, which has its roots in King Bharat's India and Jesus being born in Shem, the King Bharat's own lineage. Well, in the 8th century AD, Adi Shankara came up with his misleading philosophies and changed everything in the way of religious reformation. Unlike what I am explaining here, committing my claims to a particular time period, thereby allowing my claims to be scrutinized, there is a way of speaking philosophies without referring to any specific time period or any incident. These kind of talks are not from God, friends. However, that is exactly what Adi Shankara did and derailed the truth. God did not bless him with a long life. He died when he was hardly 33 years old. When it comes to Vishnu today, because a dead man cannot talk, they have said many things which are not true about him and misled the masses. Above all this, the ultimate truth could be that Vishnu may not have wanted to be worshipped as a god either, just as his mentor Noah. Thanks for watching.